All right. Hey, y'all. I guess I'm live. This is my first time ever doing this. So, hi. Welcome to my live stream, even though I think I'm the only person here. Hey, y'all. Uh-oh. I guess I'm live. This is my first time ever doing this. So, hi. Welcome to my live stream, even though I think I'm the only person here. Hey, y'all. Uh-oh. This is my first time ever doing this. So, okay. Sound off. Okay. That could get complicated. Well, welcome. My name is Molly. I'm an astrologer. I've been an astrologer since the 90s. When I was just a sweet little young thing. Studied with my mentor for about 15 years. And then since then, I've been kind of doing my own thing. Had a spectacular astrological midlife crisis. So maybe that'll be a topic sometime if any of y'all want to hear about it. The astrological midlife crisis happens when you're in your early 40s. And yeah, it kind of snuck up on me. I honestly wasn't expecting it to be as hairy as it really was, but it was. It was hairy. It was pretty, it was definite like turning point in my life. So anyways, let's talk about eclipses, perhaps. I really wanted to talk about the eclipses that are going on in the weather today, and it's really been weighing on me. The news from the Supreme Court and the hard right turn that my country seems to be making in its politics, and that's of course concerning and really weighing on a lot of people as this decision looms. And the preview that we've gotten of it's not so good yet. And just hearing all the stories about what life was like before Roe v. Wade, and it really weighs on a person. And I'm sure you can probably tell I'm a little past childbearing age, so it doesn't directly affect me, but in terms of just the second class status that all women are being relegated to through the actions of these 9 people and the inactions of our legislature. And I mean, it's just such a complicated picture right now, and sometimes it seems very dark. And I always want to be optimistic and hopeful, but it's getting harder now. Anyways, let's talk about something else now. Let's talk about these eclipses. Why not? I'm going to share my screen with you. All right. So here's just a chart of the day for yesterday, last time I was on here. All right. So what I'm going to do here is actually something a little different. Let's see. Let's go to lunaastrology.com. Lunaastrology.com is a great tool that I'm going to show you while we work here, because it's got so much that it can do. But I still don't totally know my way around, so bear with me. Let's see if we do cast chart. That's not it. I'm like, here, let's use this thing that I don't totally know how to use yet. Okay, well, I already ran this eclipse chart, so let's go ahead and just start with this. And let's go to by will. Remove. All right, perfect. Okay, here's the chart of the eclipse that's run for Washington, D.C. It happened April 30th, about a week ago, 4:30 in the afternoon, and I ran the chart for DC, so that's what we're looking at. Here is the sun and the moon. They're both at 10 degrees Taurus. That's a new moon when the sun and the moon conjoin in the sky. And then here's the nodes when the sun and the moon conjoin within 18 degrees of one of the nodes. This here's the north, the points point down, and this here's the south, the points point up. When the new moon or the full moon conjoins the nodes by 18 degrees or less, that's what we call an eclipse. This one's here about 13 degrees, between 10 and 23. So that's more of a what we call a penumbral, or I believe an annular eclipse is what we call that. It's and as opposed to a total eclipse, which this next eclipse on the south node, the lunar eclipse, will probably be a total lunar eclipse. Anyways, let's talk about the chart of the eclipse. Sun and moon in the eclipse chart conjoin Uranus. So, surprise. So, the eclipse chart is kind of a special lunation chart. All right, the lunation is a new moon or a full moon, and we can read each one of their charts for insights into what this lunar cycle is about. But when there's an eclipse is like a special full moon or a new moon that actually the eclipse is a special new moon or a full moon that actually has a 6-month outlook. So this chart is in force until the next set of eclipses, which is going to be about 6 months from now, probably in the fall. All right. Lots of surprises around this eclipse, lots of change, lots of upset. It's like someone stuck their finger in the anthill and all the ants are pouring out. They're ready now. It's definitely kind of an anthill situation that we're in right now politically. So here's what we can do. Let's put up the chart of the United States. Let me see if I have, I'm pretty sure I have that. There we go. I misspelled it, but there it is. And how can I switch these two charts? Drag the chart boxes to swap wheel positions. Okay, let's try that. Oh, I probably had to drag it by the, there we go. All right. So we're going to put the chart of the USA in the middle here. And then here's the same chart we were looking at, but now it's on the outside. Now it's on the outside. All right. In the chart of the USA, here's where the eclipse appears. It's in this 5th house, and the 5th house has to do with the nation's leaders, the nation's leadership, also a nation's children, and the culture, the performing arts, those kinds of things. Let me show you my, I have a nation chart handout here. Tells you what all these things are. 5th house, entertainment, sports, theater, and movies. Children, the birth rate. Speculation linked to the national economy. Yeah. Okay, so when it became clear that the Supreme Court was seriously thinking about doing this thing and getting prepared to do it, the stock market crashed. Yeah, the stock market fell. I heard it was like 1,400 points yesterday. Yeah, so eclipse in the 5th house of the financial speculation. And it's very financial, especially because this is the money sign Taurus. Now, here's Saturn. All right, here's Saturn. Saturn's going to spend the next several months kind of moving out of Aquarius. And in doing so, it's going to conjoin the moon in the USA chart. The moon represents women, families, children. So here we have another Saturn's a real limiting influence. So we have this idea of control on women, families, and children. But that moon's in Aquarius. How many Aquarians do you know like being under someone else's thumb? I would venture, I would speculate not that many. So yeah. Moon, the population, the common people, women in the nation. We don't like having our rights taken away, y'all. Popular opinion, mass ideologies. So on the one hand, this is being taken away from us. On the other hand, we're probably going to mobilize and work to fix that in as much as it's even possible. I don't even know. I studied United States history as part of my my bachelor's degree in college. I actually got a major in history, and it was this may be one of the weirdest times in history. I don't know. I'm sure everybody thinks that, but new challenges appear and new things happen, and yeah. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But look what's happening here on the cusp of the fourth house. The eclipse chart is really putting a lot of energy on the cusp of the fourth house in the USA chart. Venus is there. Jupiter is there. The fourth house of a nation chart is the land. And the foundational traditions, the common people, nationalism, jingoism, the land and agriculture. So we have a lot of issues coming up around there too. And it looks to be about a lot about money. There's Venus. Venus is a money planet. There's something about women here with Venus. There's Jupiter. Jupiter's about expansion, and we saw that jingoism and that nationalism that we were talking about. This suggests that immigration will also be a hot topic in the next 6 months. Yeah. Okay. Gosh, it really is kind of lonely going live by yourself. Talking about this stuff. Talking about what's on your mind, wondering if anybody's watching, and if they are, what are they thinking? Are they going to hang up? Are they going to go away? But anyway, let's go grab another chart and just see what else we can see. What can I do here? Charts. I'm going to just grab a chart and see what happens. Okay, somewhere I've got other charts. Let me see if I can get in this public chart section. Let's look at somebody like let's see, coffee with Molly. I am having coffee. There's only one person watching. Let's see. Can I put a comment on here? Okay. Oh, there's a chat. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to say something in the chat. Honestly, I don't think anybody's even watching me. But if you are, I just put the link to the Zoom in the YouTube comment chat. All right. So let's go back. Let's look at someone like Joe Biden. Okay. And then let's put the eclipse chart. Okay. So the eclipse is going to be hitting Joe Biden's chart about the same place in his house of children, performance, leadership. And interestingly, the Uranus portion of this conjunction that appears in the eclipse chart actually is over the boundary in the 6th house. So that could be a health concern. Let's wish our president good health. And interestingly, the lines in his chart, the angles, line up quite almost precisely with the chart of the nation. It's just interesting that he's been a public figure for so many years. All right, 5th house and 6th house of Joe Biden's birth chart. Let's look at I don't know if I like this going live and not having anything on the agenda to really talk about. I don't know. Another item that's coming up is Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is going to start here next week. Mercury is going to go a few more degrees into Gemini and then back up again. All right. So Mercury is going to back over, or is going to proceed over Joe Biden's Uranus. Now, that can work a couple of different ways. Mercury on Uranus can be, I'm about to give you the middle finger. It can also be, everybody's giving me the middle finger. All right. So look at, this is Joe Biden's birth chart. All right. Uranus on the 7th house cusp. Okay. Let's see if I can get a degree. That looks like about 4 degrees in is where that angle is. All right. I don't have the numbers turned on, but that's approximately where that descendant is. Descendant being the opposite of the ascendant, and it has to do with the kind of people that you partner with, that you interface with. And this says that he's used to speaking to people with different ideas, different to him, people who want to give him the middle finger. That's what Uranus is, the rebel. All right. So he's really used to, working it out with people who have different ideas with him, of him. But like, politics now is kind of a whole different animal. There doesn't seem to be much common ground at all. And so he might come up against another roadblock in the run up to this Mercury retrograde, that it takes the whole Mercury retrograde and then some to kind of iron out and work through. So when Mercury is retrograde, delays may work out to your favor. So sometimes it's better to kind of sit and let things percolate and let the situation develop before you really jump in and try to affect change. But for certain, he's got a lot of middle fingers in his space and in his inbox right now with Mercury moving over Uranus here. All right. And the Mercury is going to back up to about 26 degrees of Taurus here. And in so doing, will interface with Pluto here at the end of Mercury retrograde. All right. It looks like at the end of Mercury retrograde, it's almost going to get to square Saturn again, because it gets back to Taurus. It's going to almost square Saturn again, but it's not going to quite get there. And it will almost sextile Neptune in the sky. We're talking about sky Neptune here, not birth chart Neptune. In fact, let's just let's put the eclipse here in the middle. Can I hide this? Anyway, let's just look at the middle chart for now. And let's scooch it forward. Am I able to scooch it forward? Hold on, y'all. All right. Is that gonna do it? Ah, yes. All right, so let's scooch this thing forward a few days. All right. How many days have we got? All right, Mercury's retrograde now. We're at 514. 5, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. All right, Mercury's at 0. 23, Mercury has backed into Taurus. All right, do you see that? Mercury went from 0 Gemini to 29 Taurus. It's going backwards. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 1, 2. All right, you see Mercury retrograde there? Numbers are red. That's how you know it's retrograde, all right? Numbers are red. All right, now Mercury just went direct. So this is about approximately the direct station of Mercury. It's a 26, and that means Mercury's not going back anymore. Mercury's going to turn around, go forward again, all right? So this is a cool thing about Luna. You can turn off everything but the aspects to one particular planet. Okay, so here's Mercury almost reaching the sextile to Neptune, but not quite. So there may still, you may still feel some poetic inspiration or messages from beyond, spiritual kind of messages, artistic inspiration. That's the energy of Neptune. Mercury square Saturn. Again, it's going to get almost there and then turn around and go the other way. In technical terms, that's called reformation in astrology. And the first time I heard about reformation, the teacher described it as like, you go out on a date with this, he's a guy, you go on a date with this chick and everything's going great. And, you think this is the start of something great. And then the date ends and you both go home and you never hear from this chick again. All right. Sorry to call a date a chick. Anyways, that's what a reformation is like. It's like you think a problem, Mercury square Saturn, you think there's a problem coming. You think that something's about to get really complicated, but then Mercury goes back the other way and it doesn't really come together that way. However, the aspect that really is going to come together and that really is going to perfect 3 times during this process is Mercury trine Pluto, because Mercury is going to hit 28 degrees. Mercury is going to hit that exact trine, going back and then again going forward. And that process is going to last for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks, all right? So Mercury trine Pluto is usually a 1-day event, but this time it lasts for 2 weeks. So that is kind of a big deal. It's a trine, which means there are opportunities. It means it's going to make certain things easier. Certain things are going to be easier because there's a trine. It's going to make it possible to find an easier way to get the job done. So it's not good, it's not bad, it's not on one political side or the other. It just means that it's easier to move something forward, especially some idea, some writing project, some mercurial thing. If you're writing a paper, this would be a great time to just knuckle down because it's going to be easier to think. It's going to be easier to get deeper. It's going to be easier to research. Pluto is about going under the surface and getting to the deep stuff. All right. So psychologically, metaphysically, as well as, if you're digging holes in the garden, that could be easier. If you are trying to solve a problem, this 2 week period of time that goes from about the 20th of May to about the first week of June is going to be a time when all of that goes more easily. All right. So Pluto is about psychology. Pluto is really deep and dark as well. So it's a time when you can more easily access and grapple with the darker elements within your own psyche or within your own life. Or if you've had a dark past, this would be a time when you could talk about it or write it down or something like that, because there's a lot of real transformative energy in the sky. Pluto can be really intense and really dominating and really dark, but the trine makes those useful parts of Pluto more accessible. All right. Talking to myself, just having my coffee here. Still only got one person watching. That's okay. I've only got like 60 people subscribed to my YouTube channel. And maybe this will help. Maybe doing these kinds of things will help. Maybe just letting you guys see who I am will help. Maybe you will appreciate what I have to say. And if that's the case, I really hope that you'll share this around maybe, or if you know any friends who would like to hear what I've had to say about Mercury retrograde, maybe, maybe. Let me tell you guys what I've been doing. I've been gardening my butt off. All right. A certain flower got legalized here in Virginia last year. And so I decided I was going to grow some of these medicinal flowers. And doing so has caused me to learn things about gardening that I wouldn't have otherwise learned. And my love of growing these flowers has really spilled over into all things. My house plants. I mean, look at these house plants behind me. Aren't they fabulous? Like, I was really a plant person back in my 30s. I know I don't look older than 30, but I actually really am. Anyways, I was really a plant person. I took herbalism courses and I would journey and talk to plants, and I studied herbalism. I would make my own remedies, and I took care of myself that way for quite some time. And then my early 40s came and my astrological midlife crisis happened, and I lost my mojo. I just lost touch with a lot of different parts of myself, and I became very ill. Actually, I became extremely ill. I had like headaches and some digestive things for a while. Strange aches and pains that started when I was in my late 20s and got progressively worse through my 30s, to the point where I was spending a couple of days a week minimum in bed with a nasty headache. And I tried like all the herbs that are supposed to work for headaches. I did all the over-the-counter things. I kind of was brushed off by the medical system, I guess, because they thought I was drug seeking, even though I didn't really even want the drugs. I just wanted to try something to see if it would help my headache. And I was actually seeking a drug called Imitrex, which does not have addictive potential anyway, but doctors at that time, and probably still now, are suspicious when you come into them and say you have pain. So your pain gets not believed, your pain gets written off. And that's where I found myself. The good thing about my early 40s, a lot was very, very awful about my early 40s. But one really good thing about my early 40s was that I figured out what was wrong with me. I figured out why I had been so sick and why I was in so much pain all the time. And I haven't told you guys about the emotional component of this. Now, of course, pain is a lot of stress, and pain has a debilitating effect on your psyche. And pain can be a manifestation of other problems that are also affecting your psyche as well. So it's not always just the pain causing the emotional disturbance. Sometimes it's just a biochemical disorder that is underpinning everything. So I had the emotional disturbance, I had the pain, I had hormonal issues, I had chemical sensitivity, I had everything. I had a lot wrong with me. And I was sitting in my office one day trying to figure out why I had such loud ringing sounds in my ears. I was kind of used to having a low-pitched ringing sound in my ear pretty much all the time, but it had been getting progressively louder and progressively creakier. And I used to describe it as like there's this metal cricket inside my ear just going and going and going. And normal tinnitus, that stuff stays in the background, but it was just getting so loud that I couldn't ignore it. So I was sitting there and I was Googling what causes tinnitus. And I found this and that and this and that. And then I found it in a list of symptoms of mercury poisoning. And mercury had been on my mind for a while because I knew there was mercury in the metal dental work that I had at the time. So anyway, it turned out every symptom that I had was on that list, and a light bulb came on. And then the question was, okay, what can I do about mercury poisoning? And everything kicked into gear. And I won't tell you that whole story right now because it's quite long. And but you know, that was the best part of my early 40s. But it did take me several years to kind of dig my health out of the hole that mercury had put it into. And of course, the first step was getting the mercury removed. I had to find a dentist who could do it safely. That's important too. Don't just have any dentist. If you're listening to me and you're thinking, oh, I want to get mine, I'm going to call my dentist. Make sure your dentist uses safe protocols to take the mercury out, because the removal process itself generates a lot of mercury vapor that can take you from bad to worse if you've already got health problems. Or it can take you from healthy to unhealthy. So be exquisitely careful dealing with the toxic waste dump. Think of it as a toxic waste dump, a mini toxic waste dump in your teeth that's spilling toxic waste into your system over years and decades. And that's what happened to me. It started to affect my brain. It actually, it had been affecting my brain all the way back to childhood. If I look at it in hindsight, then I realized like all the social anxiety that I had, I did not recognize at the time, but it's a classic symptom of mercury toxicity. Yeah, the symptoms, especially in childhood, resemble autism quite a bit. Oh, so anyways, let's go back and talk about astrology some more. All right. All right. Yeah, so Mercury retrograde. Let me see what we can look at now. Let's look at Vladimir Putin. Putin is not my favorite guy in the world right now, but oh, he's not in there. I think he's in my file. So let's go back to my astrology. I really like the idea of using Luna astrology, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. So I'm going to practice some more. But I do really like this. This Luna is a great option for doing charts if you are kind of at the holding hands level with astrology, but not necessarily like officially dating or married to astrology yet. Luna has a monthly option. It's like $5 a month to get a pretty functional astrology program. So check it out, lunaastrology.com. And I didn't get paid to say that. I just, I really like the program. I've talked to the developer and he seems like a super nice guy. So, and he's got a lot of exciting plans for this project. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, let's go. Oh, shoot. All right. Oh, damn. All right. Okay. Okay, good. That didn't show. That was just good. That was just I was afraid you were going to see my client's chart names, even though there's nobody here. I didn't want to show my clients' names on the screen, and it looks like that did not happen. So good. Okay. Vladimir Putin. This is a solar sign chart. Solar sign. I'll explain what that means. We don't know Putin's birth time. We don't know it exactly. It looks like we have this 1 o'clock birth time, and I'm honestly not sure where that came from. I might have got it from Astro Data Bank. But solar sign means we're going to take the sun sign of the person, and that whole sign is now what we're going to read as the first house. This is because we don't really know Putin's houses. We don't. All right. So we're going to do solar sign. This is one way of dealing with the situation. If you have no idea what time someone was born, or if you have kind of a roughish idea, I don't know. I don't know where this 1 o'clock came in. So that's probably why I ran this in solar sign. Anyway, Sun, Saturn, Neptune is really interesting. Mercury, all in Libra. He's got a little stellium in Libra. He's got Venus ruling that whole stellium in ruthless Scorpio. And then Mars and Sag. There's Chiron and Capricorn. North Node in Aquarius. Interesting. And look at all this stuff around the South Node. Now, this ascendant, we just don't know. We don't know. That would be the 1 o'clock ascendant. So if that 1 o'clock birth time is right, then he's got a Leo rising. I'm not sure that's correct. He doesn't really seem like a Leo rising to me, but I don't know the guy that well. But the Pluto is definitely there, conjunct the south node of the moon. Pluto and the south node are both extremely karmic. So this fella has some extreme patriarchal karma that he's kind of obsessed with. And he's reported to be have a real nostalgic feeling for the way that the Soviet Union was run and life in the Soviet Union, how controlled it was, how patriarchal it was, and how I don't know, how crappy it was for everybody but him, I guess. Because he got to sneak around and be like, secret squirrel, I guess. I don't know the freaking guy. I don't know. The moon here is really close to the end of Taurus, so we're not totally sure. Let's talk about the moon. Let's talk about how you work with an unknown birth time. All right. The moon here at 28 Taurus, the chart is run for 1 in the morning. And that means over the course of the next 24 hours, that moon is going to go about 12 degrees. And that means over the course of the 24 hours on this birth date, the moon is going to move into Gemini. So it's a question mark as to whether the moon's in Taurus or Gemini in this chart. So we'll just kind of acknowledge that and understand that. We're not exactly sure the location of the moon here. Now, let's put the chart of the eclipse on the outer wheel. All right, so there, I'm going to open up a transit. There we go. And then I'm going to Eclipse is here and April 30th. Okay. Oh my gosh, golly. Oh, wait a minute. What just happened? Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So we have the sun and moon of this eclipse chart in Putin's 8th. The solar eclipse in your 8th is going to bring some attention to the deeper stuff. The 8th is a really emotional house. All right. The 4th is your safety. You know, these issues of safety and home and family and the, kind of the squishy underbelly of your emotions. The 8th house is like your ancestral karma. All right. So this, and it's your wealth. All right. So wealth is something that we inherit. And it's also something that you can create through your associations with others in the world, or dwindle as a result of your associations with others in the world. So I think he's really experiencing the pressure of the sanctions that other countries are placing on him and his inner circle, and by extension, the whole country of Russia. I don't think he's liking that. He's used to kind of Jupiter being the predominant force here, which means there's lots of this available. There's lots of comfort. Taurus, there's someone who really likes the creature comforts. There's freedom to move. There is money. There's a lot of support, but the eclipse might be disrupting that in a way. Something to watch. Let's go look at the next eclipse too. Let's look at the lunar eclipse that's coming on May 16th, 10 days from today. Go. All right, there we go. Select this chart too. All right, there we go. All right, I'm figuring this out. Oh, and this lunar eclipse is even more of a ringy ding ding here, because the moon is going to directly oppose this possible moon in the birth chart, and also this Jupiter here. So there may be some stiff opposition to the things that he's trying to do. Financial, the 2 and 8 are the money houses, so he might experience some financial concerns, changes over the next 6 months. Is he going to work? I don't know. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm still the only one here. So I'm kind of thinking about signing off for now. I don't know. Let's go back and let me see. Open. All right. Let's go back and look at President of the USA and the lunar eclipse as well, because that one's going to hit his chart pretty strongly too in the 12th house, right? The 12th house represents things that are going on that are not known to you, or things that you're working on that are not known to others. So there's a lot of behind the scenes activity that Joe Biden's either participating in, making preparations for whatever's next, or is affected by. A lot of times in the 12th house, those things, and they're not known to you, but they do affect you. This can also be him dealing with a health concern of some kind. The 12th is also the partner to the 6th, and that they are the health houses. All right. The Uranus in the 6th house suggests that there might be some kind of a neurological thing going on, something that affects the function of the nerves, the nervous system, and the circulation. It suggests that acupuncture can be pretty helpful. And there's a lot happening in the 12th house. And the eclipse takes place in the 12th house as well, which is the partner to the 6th house. I like to think of them as the mind-body connection. All right. So the 6th is more the body, the physical stuff. And then the 12th can be more of the karmic forces, the emotional forces, the other forces that can weigh down on health, crappy beliefs. That's what's known as the house of self-undoing. So Biden might seem like kind of a passive character. There may be some stuff that he really doesn't want the public knowing about. And I'm not saying he's sneaky and shifty, because I like the guy, and he's had a lifetime of public service. But we all have our secrets. It doesn't matter how good or how nasty of a person you are, wherever you fall on the spectrum with Joe Biden, we all have our secrets. And we see those in the 12th house. But the 12th is also the house of compassion. And we also see, we've seen over the years how much he relates to others, especially who have had similar tragedies happen in their life as he has in his. So anyways, this is my first time going live, and I hope you guys got something out of my ramblings. Next time, if you're seeing this and you want me to go live again, please leave me a comment or something, cheer me on, because if this doesn't work, I just feel like a dumbass. I feel like I'm just wasting my time. And maybe I am. But if you're out there and you're enjoying this, please do me a favor. Let me know. Subscribe, hit the bell so you get a notification when I go live. If I go live again, if this is kind of fun, but not if nobody shows up. Maybe I can talk a little more about what I'm doing in the garden. I have this new thing that it's a new product that I have on my website for sale, but I just made it, and I'm just starting to use it myself in the garden. Let me just show you real quick before I sign off. Writing. Oh shoot, that didn't work. All right, that's not it. That's the sales process that I haven't created yet. All right, there we go. Garden and Kitchen Companion. This is my new product, and let me tell you how great this is. First thing you do is you go to the lunar sign and phase calendar. This is it. mollysastrology.com/lessons/lunar-sign-phase-calendar. And this is going to tell you what sign the moon is today and what phase the moon is today. All right. So moon in Cancer. This is the last day of the Cancer moon. So I've already done most of my Cancer moon tasks. Why am I not signed in? Okay. I got to log in, y'all. Okay, so I'm logged in now. My lunar sign and phase calendar. All right, the moon in Cancer, All right, the day quality is wet, and it happens to be raining today. Cancer is a water sign, and water moons are leaf days. So today's the day I'm going to plant the leafy things, all right, and work on the leafy things, fertilize the leafy things. Green leafy vegetables and herbs. I have one thing left to plant, and that's catnip. I'm going to plant some catnip for the garden, for the kitty cats, and for the pollinating insects. I already did the basil and the collards and stuff. I probably should have did a little more with that, but anyway, Cancer is good for working with plants that grow low to the ground. Good time to water. I've watered all the container plants that need it today. Thorough watering is often helpful near the end of the moon in Cancer period. That's today, as the soil will tend to absorb some extra moisture in preparation for the next sign that the moon's moving into, which is Leo, one of the driest signs there is. It's a fire sign and it's very hot and dry. So this is a great time for it to rain. It's a great time for watering your container plants. And then the waxing moon, it's good for transplants. Transplants, cuttings, and clones are more successful. I just transplanted and took cuttings and repotted cuttings of my monstera, which is over there, but it's not on camera. But and it looks like crap now because it hasn't like grown in yet with that new lush growth. But maybe I'll be able to show it to you next time. So this calendar has been super helpful in helping me to prioritize and schedule all my activities in the garden and kind of do the right thing at the right time. And the wisdom in here is much different than the conventional wisdom that I've seen in other places. And let me tell you, I've tried it all sorts of different ways, and this works better. It just works better. You break all the rules and you can have a freaking fantastic garden. So before I go, I will just share with you my Leo moon plan. All right. I'm going to, I planted some corn back in the Leo moon back in April, a few weeks ago. And it actually, even though it wasn't supposed to be warm enough for it, it actually did come up and it's still there and it's still growing. So I got a head start on my corn, but some of it died and I'm going to replace that. So that's one of my jobs. We've got some bitter melon. I'm going to transplant that. And I'm going to sow some more seeds. Get some cucumbers in, get some okra in, and some squash and some pumpkins, because Leo is a fruit day. It's a fruit sign. So I am planting fruits, planting vegetables as well, but they are plants where the part I'm after is the fruit. That's what you plant on the fire moon days. And then Virgo, of course, is going to be the roots. So anyways, I really hope that you'll want to check it out. It's mollysastrology.com/courses/garden-calendar. Garden-calendar. All right, you guys, so I'm going to sign off. My name is Molly Gauthier. I wish you all a good day. If you see this, let me know. Get in touch with me. Let me know I wasn't just spending this whole time talking to myself. If you're particularly interested in a topic that I've shared about, then let me know. Just send me a quick word of encouragement. It would mean the world to me. I'm just a small time girl reading charts and experimenting to see what works. So signing off now.